How's it going, everybody? Welcome to our Week 7 prediction video for the 2023 NFL season. Last week, I actually won. I finished with a 10-5 record. Gunnar finished 9-6 to bring the season total to 60-33, and then Gunner's still in the lead at 62-31. So getting a little bit closer week by week. I was right with my upset. Gunnar was wrong again. Not like that accounts for anything. But tonight, we have a matchup between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the New Orleans Saints. The Jaguars having a bit of a rough start to their season, but the past couple games against Buffalo and Indianapolis, they've looked a lot better. Their offense has been getting better, except now Trevor Lawrence is hurt. He's questionable. I'm pretty sure he's going to play.
Yeah, he said he was going to.
So at least they have that. New Orleans, they've been winning a little bit, but they're still not looking super convincing. I don't think they're a good team. Alvin Kamara's been back. He hasn't really done anything. Yeah, I'm not really excited about this Saints team. Gunnar, who do you have in this matchup?
I have Jacksonville.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you here. I think Jacksonville's the better team, even if...
Saints couldn't beat the Texans.
Yeah, even if Lawrence is still hurt. I mean, they still have ETN. So I'm going to pick Jacksonville in this one. All right, next up, we actually have a good game between the Detroit Lions and the Baltimore Ravens. The Lions put away the Buccaneers in their creamsicle uniforms last week. They're sitting at a very pretty 5-1 as one of the best teams in the NFC. They look really good. The Ravens have been good too. I think they're on bye last, or no, they weren't. They beat the Titans in London. That's right. Excuse me. In a very boring game. Their offense didn't really do much. Justin Tucker scored a lot of their points. Here's the thing, though. I know the Ravens are a good team. They're one of the best teams in the AFC this year. They've been playing well, and their defense is good. But the Lions defense has been playing good too. I'm going to take the Detroit Lions in this matchup.
I also have the Lions. They held Baker Mayfield to near nothing. Lamar isn't good at passing. As long as they can put a spy on him, I think they have a really good chance.
Yeah, especially with how their defense has been playing. I agree. All right, next up, this is a very bad game between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Chicago Bears. The Bears, shocker, lost again. They do not look good. They are one of the worst teams in the NFL. Justin Fields had a couple games in a row where he looked like he was playing better. That was not the case last week. He looked like his old form again.
And then he dislocated his thumb, is out a couple weeks.
Right, so who's their... It's Tyson Bagent, right?
It's that where they can bring up Peterman and play him. But Bagent looked mid last week. So
yeah,
we'll see.
I totally forgot about Justin Fields being injured. The Raiders, on the other hand, beats the New England Patriots, which isn't really saying much, but Josh McDaniels beat his old mentor, Bill Belichick, in a decent win, but Jimmy Garoppolo is now injured, so now we have Brian Hoyer against Tyson Bagent, so not good. You know what, though? I'm going to be bold this week, and my upset, I'm picking the Chicago Bears. Let's spice things up this week. Gunnar,
give me the Raiders.
Gunnar has the Raiders. That's a safe pick. I'm being a little careless here, but you know what?
Backup quarterback. Yeah, no.
Who cares? All right, next up, we have the Cleveland Browns taking on the Indianapolis Colts. Colts had a bit of a rough week last week against Jacksonville. Gardner Minshew wasn't playing that well. His stats will say otherwise, but that they were really just like garbage yards and stuff like that. The Browns upsetting everyone. Last week we said, it wasn't even a conversation, but they beat the San Francisco 49ers with PJ Walker. Deshaun Watson didn't practice again yesterday, so I don't know if he will play or not this week. But PJ Walker's been okay, I guess, as their quarterback. Overall, though, their defense has been bailing them out a lot this year. They have a really, really good defense. So I am going to pick the Browns in this matchup. Gunnar, who do you have?
I want to say the Colts, but their defense looks really bad. Deshaun Watson should be coming back. There's no way he misses 4 weeks. They should just put him on IR.
True.
So, I don't know. Kareem Hunt looked really well. I mean, if they played like that against the best defense in the NFL, give me the Browns.
The Browns. All right. Yeah, their defense is really good. Their offense is not. But, they've been staying in games. Yeah. All right, next up, we have the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots. The Bills barely eking out a win against the New York Giants on Sunday Night Football last week. Their offense looked pitiful. Their defense was okay. I know Tyler Bass missed 2 field goals, which wasn't great. It was just all around a sloppy game. they still won. The Patriots continuing to look like one of the worst teams in the NFL. Mac Jones has not been playing good at all. And their defense, which usually would be good, is just so injured. So I'm going to pick the Bills in this one pretty easily.
Give me the Bills. Mac Jones, there's no way they keep him. He's done. There's this clip of his tight end, I think it was, Hunter Henry, I think. He was wide open, and he called for the ball. Mac Jones ran out a little bit more and just chucked it 10 yards behind him and too high, and it was intercepted.
Yeah, Mac Jones not looking good. It's such a shame because he had such a promising rookie season.
Zappy time.
Zappy time. All right. Next up, we have a nice,
trash match.
Not nice, NFC East matchup between the Washington Commanders and the New York Giants. The Giants, I know that they were out Daniel Jones. They continue to have problems with injuries. They lost against the Bills, only putting up 9 points. The red zone offense was absolutely atrocious.
First and goal twice on the one.
Yeah, and they couldn't get anything done. And part of that's on Tyrod, and part of that's on Dable. But
an audible for a run play with
when they had no timeouts and 14 seconds left. Yeah, just terrible decision making. The Washington Commanders beat. Who did they play against last night? The Falcons. They beat the Falcons last week. Sam Howell, he's having himself a decent season so far. Still some concerns on how good their defense is, but they picked off Desmond Ridder 3 times, which was super impressive, so props to them. I'm going to pick the Commanders in this one just because I think they're the better team. The Giants just have so many injuries. It's sad. Gunnar,
Saquon and Waller came back. Danny Dimes, I don't know if he's coming back.
I think he might.
Commanders, they had their loss 2 weeks ago. Giants to do for a win. Give me the Giants. This isn't my upset of the week.
Gunner's still picking the Giants. All right. Next up, we have the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is a nice NFC South matchup. The Falcons did lose. Desmond Ridder played terrible. I don't know why they didn't just put in Taylor Heineke, to be honest, last week. I mean, he was garbage. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers got whooped by the Detroit Lions last week. I still like Baker Mayfield. I still think they have a great offense and a decent defense. It was just a bad game. The Lions were the superior team. The Falcons have been kind of hanging in with some teams recently this year, but I'm still going to pick the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this week. Gunnar.
Give me the Bucs. They're due back for a comeback. They played all right against the Lions.
Yeah, I think they'll do fine, especially at home against the Falcons. Yeah. All right, we're both taking the Bucs. Next up, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Los Angeles Rams. The Steelers coming off of a bye. Their offense continues to look terrible. Just absolutely bad. Sorry, I'm losing track of my thought. The Rams beat the Arizona Cardinals last week. They didn't really play super well, but
Byron Williams got hurt. He's gonna miss a couple of weeks.
That's too bad. Like, what other running backs do they have?
I don't know. They traded Cam Akers. Their other running back just came off IR, I think. So
yeah, both of these teams are inherently not good. I know the Steelers' record says otherwise, but the games that they're winning, they are barely winning, or they're getting bailed out by their defense. I'm going to take the Steelers in this matchup only because of their defense against the Rams offense. So give me the Steelers.
Steelers rested up. Rams looked ugly the first half. Give me the Steelers also.
All right. Gunnar and I are both taking the Steelers. All right, next up, we have a NFC West matchup between the Cardinals and the Seahawks. The Seahawks lost last week against the Bengals. Their red zone offense was so bad. There were so many times that they could have scored.
They kicked the field goal every time. They would have won.
I know. It's just they kept going for it on 4th down, and the Bengals' pass rush was just so good. They couldn't do anything against them. The Cardinals, Josh Dobbs, obviously, he's not going to be an amazing quarterback. They're still hanging in games somehow, but they lost to the Rams last week. I think it's easy to pick the Seahawks here, but I hope that they have a way better performance than they did last week. Gunnar, do you agree?
Yeah, I got the Seahawks.
That seems like a good pick. All right, next up we have the GPS Bowl between the Green Bay Packers and the Denver Broncos. The Packers coming off of a bye week, so they're a bit rested up. Again, there weren't really expectations for them at the beginning of the season, but they are not playing good. I do not think Jordan Love is the guy, and Green Bay is going to have a dose of reality of not having back-to-back Hall of Fame quarterbacks. The Broncos, shocker, lost last week in a boring primetime game against the Chiefs. The Chiefs didn't even play that well either. Mahomes threw 2 interceptions, I think. But the Broncos still lost because the Chiefs own them. In terms of this game, I'm going to pick the Packers just because I think they're a better team. But my God, Denver, I kind of had them as like a dark horse team this year, like last year. But oh my God, they are really, really bad. Gunnar, who do you have?
No, Denver sucks. Green Bay coming off a bye. Give me the Packers. The Packers.
Yep, sounds good. All right, next up we have a really good game with huge playoff implications between the Los Angeles Chargers and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs, like we mentioned, won against the Broncos last week, 9-18 or something weird like that. It was some weird, or no, 8-19, some weird score that only happened once 100 years ago. Did not play well. Kelsey continues to have kind of a disappointing season. Mahomes,
I mean, he had 100 yards, I think.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. On paper, he did well, I guess. Patrick Mahomes threw 2 interceptions. Not great. Against the Chargers' pass defense, though, I don't think he'll have any issues because they are very bad on pass defense. The Chargers lost to the Dallas Cowboys on primetime. Justin Herbert will continue to have good games and then just not do anything when it comes to the last 2 minutes. It's sad. He's the next Phillip Rivers. In terms of this game, though, give me the Chargers. Let's choose a bit of chaos here. I'm going to pick the Chargers. Gunnar, who do you have?
My upset of the week, using it here, Chargers.
And Gunnar also has the Chargers. All right. So, now we're on to our final game of the week. It's a short week because there are a ton of teams on bye.
No, there's 2 games left.
Oh, there's 2. Oh, I just can't read. I am so sorry. All right, so this is an amazing game nonetheless between the Miami Dolphins and the Philadelphia Eagles. The Dolphins put away the Panthers. They kind of play with their food a bit, allowing 21 points, but they still won by a reasonable margin. The Eagles finally losing to the Jets. Jalen Hurts made a ton of mistakes, and this is what happens when you put a system quarterback against a top 10 defense. We saw the exact same thing with Brock Purdy when you take his weapons away. The same exact thing's going to happen. But I'll give them this. The Dolphins' defense is nowhere close to being as good as the Dolphins' defense. So I think the Eagles will do okay. In terms of this game, though, I still think the Dolphins are the better team, so I'm going to pick the Dolphins. And that's Gunnar, who do you have?
So, the Dolphins, they haven't played anyone with a 500 record or better, and the only team that it was the Bills, and they lost. So they really haven't played anyone. Eagles look better, in my opinion. Tua, I don't think he's it, but Mr. Checkdown, give me the Eagles in this one. Eagles are favored in this one, or this would be my upset of the week.
Yeah, I think they're only favored because they're at home.
2.5 points.
All right, now we're at our last game of the week on Monday Night Football. We have what should have been a good game, but isn't, between the 49ers and the Minnesota Vikings. The Niners injury bug is creeping back. Christian McCaffrey's injured. Deebo Samuel's injured. I know Trent Williams got hurt, but I think he came back. The Vikings, they're just bad. Like, they're really bad, and it doesn't help.
Couldn't beat the Bears back up. I mean, no,
they did beat the Bears. Yeah,
but they struggled.
They did. It's just, that's what the NFC North matchups usually are. It's just crap. They're just bad games. I know they're definitely missing Justin Jefferson. I know they're definitely missing a good running back like Dalvin Cook. I don't know who in the world thought you could replace Dalvin Cook with Alexander Madison, but apparently I'm not good enough to be a general manager in the NFL. Give me the Niners.
Give me the Niners. They need a bounce back win this week.
All right, so Gunnar and I are both picking the Niners in that last matchup. We have 6 teams on bye this week, so it's a very, very short week, but we still have 3 differences. I forgot to mark that as different. Yeah, but only 3 differences this week. It's only a 2-game difference for our season totals this year, and that'll do it. If you guys have any upsets of your own, let us know in the comments, and we'll see you guys in the next one.